I'm here today with Tom Oliver of Oliver's Cider, multi-award-winning cider maker. But we are mostly here to talk about something a bit weird, which is this, which is your Royal Cider, which we helped make.
You certainly did.
It's a bit of a weird one. I mean, the history behind it. I mean, we haven't had Royal Cider. It hasn't been made in a while.
Yes. The original idea goes back to a pamphlet written in 1684, I think, and I can't remember the gentleman's name. I think it might have been something Herbert. Anyway, he came up with a suggestion. It was a equivalent of about 31 A4 pages. The actual recipe took up about half a page of A4, and the other 30 and a half pages were indications to the king as to why it would benefit him to make this. And basically it was saying, look at all this duty that you're going to raise from persuading people or allowing people to make this cider. And that is one of my main justifications for encouraging you. He wanted the rubber stamp from the king.
Yeah.
And so I don't think anything changes, does it? You know, a 31-page document, 30 and a half pages of
flattery.
Yes, and half a page of actually the information you want.
Yeah, so it's, or my understanding of it anyway, it's basically sort of cider that's undergoing sort of the port treatment almost.
I think it is. Now, I say that not knowing anything about port. Ed.
So, I mean, port is so you get like a partial fermentation of the red wine, which is then, that fermentation is stopped by the addition of distilled wine to it, which is then aged in oak barrels, which is pretty much, although is it complete fermentation?
It's the difference is, yes, the complete fermentation of the cider, and then that distilled cider is added back into the portion of the barrel that you'd emptied, in order to take out the cider for distillation. So that's a little twist. I mean, a lot of these drinks, there's that slight little twist, with the pommeau being fresh juiced added back to the distillate, and I love this. The differences these little nuances bring to a drink. I think it gives, for me, and I'm a novice into this, it gives you a chance to really start exploring some of the qualities that cider has in a different format.
Yeah, so I've brought something a bit weird today, which I found out in France, which looks like it's a French attempt at Royal Cider, or what they've called Royal Limousin, which seems to be cider that has been then made a lot stronger with the addition of chestnut liqueur and cognac, which is kind of along the same lines.
Yes.
But fizzy.
Yes.
And a lot less alcoholic.
Yes. So I think they're obviously looking to get a depth of flavour in. I don't know what alcohol level is it, out of interest.
Only 12%.
Oh, okay. So
I've been granted that French cider, like a strong French cider, is 5%. Strong English cider.
Yeah.
Probably over 12%.
That's exactly the case.
So.
Oh well. What do we need? Do we need a?
I have no idea actually. I think it might be a.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah. It smells like nutty cider.
Oh,
which.
Cheers.
I mean, we have both tasted the Royal Cider that Tom has made, so this is going to be a. Smells more almondy.
This is the thing I was going to say. It's.
It smells like an almond croissant.
Yeah.
It's a breakfast cider.
Jacob's coat.
It's very sweet.
It's not subtle, is it?
No. That would.
I think we're
not too sure.
Mildly confused by this one.
I can't. It smells lovely. Like this would be cracking with it like as part of a dessert.
It's wonderful that they've missed out on the need to put any form of balance or acidity in there.
There is I would have expected. I mean, the French cider is not acidic, really.
No,
at all.
it is
the syrup rise to the top?
It is true to form in that sense, isn't it? Because they are low acid, relatively high tannin, and they've done nothing to help it. To me, it's the equivalent. You know, when you have a beautiful Christmas cake with the marzipan icing and the frosted icing on top. It's like you've got this beautiful cake, but actually all you can eat is the marzipan and the icing. You're missing out on the...
You've got like the smells. The smells there, you've got the interesting smell, but like, it does feel like... Yeah, it just feels like eating an alcoholic croissant, like an almond croissant, which is a bit like covered in sugar.
Yes, it's well, what a marvellous experiment.
Yeah, slightly different. Have you got a sink? I didn't realise he'd made some... some big boys.
We did that. We even did some... oh dear, what's the next double size up?
So you got double magnum or Jeroboam.
Yes, so we did some Jeroboams of cider for a specific event this Christmas, and I don't say it doesn't matter what you put in it, but you know, it's the occasion.
Yeah,
it's the shaking or the whatever.
And this is Royal Cider. So this is sort of a bit of a collaboration between Oliver's and Ludlow Distillery, and this actually smells like apples, which is a great start for something like this. It's got a richness to it. It's got a little bit like a tarriness to it, which is one of those tasting notes that it's just better. It's got a weirdly, what I would describe as a red flavour.
Okay.
So like cherries and things like that going through it, which I quite like. So like the red fruits, but like the more, sort of the richer red fruits.
With a slightly more concentrated tartness to it. It is using predominantly a variety called Dabinet, which is our most widely grown bittersweet. But it is a heavier bittersweet. And that does give, I think, some of that cherry-like intensity to it. And that's backed up by the distillate, I think.
But it's lovely. I mean, the difference between these two Royal Watsits is quite spectacular.
One has something the other one was definitely lacking.
Yeah.
Balance.
Yeah.
There is. I think going back to the Limousin, if they had a real mousse of bubbles, that sort of carbonic acid thing would have helped carry it more convincingly. The fact that I think it was actually light on the pétillant was very pétillant. It was a pity.
The reason why sort of Royal Cider, like the timing of Royal Cider that I really enjoy is the fact that 1684 is also when you have like the introduction of like Geneva. So 1688 you've got the what's it called? It is the Glorious Revolution, I think. So 1688, 1689 is when we swapped over royalty because we ended up with the Catholic king by accident. And William of Orange, one of the first things he did was declare war on the French, which meant that we couldn't get brandy and French wine. And
which necessitated
doing something ourselves.
The aphorisms, really.
And so this came along sort of in the 1680s at quite a good time.
Well, I mean, it was that very reason that we couldn't get the real thing.
Yeah.
And the gentry of of England insisted on drinking the real thing. But the aphorisms was to convince them that as a second sort of substitute to it, this is really quite convincing. And it was already based on the fact that whenever stocks of wine were low in England, they would dilute them with cider or perry to get the most out of the existing wine stock. So this sort of the skullduggery of within alcohol was already, fully on, as it were.
And because we didn't have like proper ways of conserving things as well, fortifying something was the way of letting it travel. So sherry from Spain, which again, with the sort of dozens of Anglo-Spanish wars that happened, getting sherry was a bit difficult. Port only really arrived in the 1700s, so we had 1704 we had the Treaty of Methuen, which is a treaty with Portugal that allowed us to import port really, really cheaply. But this kind of fell like that kind of intra-fortified wines period. But yeah, it hasn't really... Do you know when, up until you made it last year, do you know when it was last made?
I have, in the UK, I've not found any evidence of a Royal Cider based on this recipe. Any Royal Cider has been called a Royal Cider, but it's a lower alcoholic sparkling drink. It's similar to that. And in America, a wonderful little cider company called Dragon's Head over on the Pacific Northwest had made a Cidre Royale, but I don't think it was aimed at this sort of still 20% area. So no, this is a new thing, and I think the interesting thing, of course, is, as you say, it gives you a cider with infinite shelf life, and it is a good way of conserving stocks if you've overproduced. And it's relatively straightforward.
They were quite probably looking for a busy year at the distillery with the amount of bloody fruit that we had this summer. It's like, we have thousands and thousands of litres of cider we don't know what to do with.
I think that will be the case.
Yeah,
I think there will be a bit of that. It just does need that leap of faith, though, to be producing something that there is no established market for, no understanding of, and as always with anything, however delightful it is to drink, it takes a lot to get the message through.
Yeah, but it's got a lovely flavour profile, this. I mean, it's kind of got like that, the sort of burnt caramel, cherries, obviously apples in there as well, but quite tannic varietal. But yeah, if you like a proper dry cider, or if you like a Calvados or a whiskey or any of those things put together, this is just a really, really interesting drink. And really quite quaffable as well.
Yeah, well, I'm delighted to hear that. Delighted to hear that.
But yeah, well, thank you very much.
My pleasure. Thank you for coming
no.
and tasting and bringing the
I enjoy
bottle.
coming here because usually I leave with cider.